Hi, and welcome to the Getting Going training for new Girl Scout leaders. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. This training is approximately 30 minutes long, and you're going to learn about best leader practices, service units, Girl Scout traditions, leader characteristics, important reminders, how to run a girl-led troop, keeping girls engaged, online and additional resources, safety in Girl Scouts, trip information, community service and take action projects, troop money earning activities, and parent involvement. As part of Best Leader Practices, you want to welcome every girl to Girl Scouting and focus on building community. Please remember that as a troop leader, you can't remove a girl from your troop. We are an inclusive organization and everyone is welcome. If you're having issues with a parent relationship that is making things difficult for you, please reach out to your volunteer experience manager. They will work with you and the parent to find the best way to keep girls participating and keep you happy as the troop leader. If you're not sure who your volunteer experience manager is, call us at Girl Scouts of Nassau County and we can give you that information. You want to remember to teach respect for, understanding of, and dignity towards all girls and their families, and then foster a sense of belonging to community as a respected and valued peer. Knowing your service unit and service unit team is very important. So what is a service unit? A service unit is all troops and girls in the geographic area that your troop is in. So some service units are made up of several communities and some are just one. So East Rockaway, Lakeview, Lynbrook, and Malvern are the Elm service unit, and another example of a service unit would be the Oceanside service unit. And what is a service unit team? A service unit team is a group of volunteers like you who have stepped up in a particular role. So for example, a volunteer may have stepped up to be the service unit treasurer, which is the person who helps all troops in their service unit with their bank accounts. And you may be thinking, well, why do I need a service team? A service team is there to give you support with anything you need as a Girl Scout leader. And each service unit has leader meetings throughout the year, which is where you can find out about upcoming events and activities, learn from other leaders that are experienced, learn important information from the GSNC Council, and have the opportunity to connect with other troops. Now let's talk about Girl Scout traditions. The traditions we have in Girl Scouts are very important to teach girls. It teaches girls about the hard work it took to build the strong, growing movement we have today. It also reminds them of the Girl Scout alumni who came before them. So let's talk about some special Girl Scout days. February 22nd is World Thinking Day, which is promoted by the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. We call them WAGs for short. And that is when we celebrate the sisterhood we share with Girl Scouts in other countries, and those girls are called Girl Guides. Your troop can earn a World Thinking Day award each year, and each year there's a different theme. And the award gives girls a chance to learn about issues that affect girls internationally. Then we have March 12th, which is the Girl Scout birthday, and that's when our founder, Juliet Gordon Lowe, officially registered the first troop of girls. Next is Girl Scout Week, which starts with Girl Scout Sunday, and Girl Scout Sunday is always the Sunday before March 12th, and it ends with Girl Scout Sabbath, which is always the Saturday after March 12th. And Girl Scout Sunday and Sabbath gives girls the opportunity to host a service at their place of worship. Then we have April 22nd, which is Girl Scout Leaders Day, which is where we appreciate all of you as leaders. And then lastly, we have October 31st, which is Founders Day, and that's our founder, Juliet Gordon Lowe's birthday. Many troops will celebrate this day by throwing a birthday party for her. Traditionally, Girl Scouts make the Girl Scout sign while saying the Girl Scout promise. The Girl Scout sign is made by raising 3 fingers of the right hand with the thumb holding down the pinky. We hold up 3 fingers to represent the 3 parts of the Girl Scout promise. You'll notice in the picture in this slide, the girl on the left-hand side is making the Girl Scout sign with her right hand, and the girl on the right-hand side is making the Girl Scout sign with her left hand. So the girl on the left-hand side that's making the Girl Scout sign with her right hand is correct. You want to make sure to practice this with girls so that they know that you always make the Girl Scout sign with your right hand. The quiet sign is a tradition that you can use to let girls know that it's time to listen, to be quiet. You make the quiet sign by not talking and raising your hand. And this is a way for you to eliminate shushing the girls or constantly repeating yourself to try to get them to settle down. And it may take girls some time to learn this, but be patient. Once you implement it, it will become very useful. You'll also see the quiet sign being used by Girl Scouts of Nassau County volunteers and staff members if you take your troop on a trip run by Girl Scouts of Nassau County. So it's not just used by leaders, it's used by Girl Scout adults and volunteers in all situations. The Girl Scout greeting is how Girl Scouts can greet one another, and it's used by Girl Scouts and Girl Guides all over the world. Girl Scouts greet one another with the Girl Scout handshake. The Girl Scout handshake is made by shaking hands with the left hand and making the Girl Scout sign with the right. The left hand is nearest to the heart and signifies friendship. The Girl Scout handshake and greeting is seen mostly with leaders and girls or other Girl Scout adults and girls after they have been presented with an award. The Friendship Circle represents the unbroken chain of friendship among Girl Scouts and Girl Guides around the world. The Friendship Circle involves Girl Scouts and leaders standing in a circle, crossing their right arms over their left, and clasping hands with their friends on both sides. Someone starts by making a silent wish and then squeezes the hand of the person next to them, letting them know that they can make their silent wish. The squeezes are passed from hand to hand around the circle until everyone's done making their wish. You'll see the Friendship Circle sometimes at the end of a Girl Scouts of Nassau County council-wide event or at camp. And it's important to know that a Girl Scout meeting should always end in the Friendship Circle. It's a special way for girls to end their meeting. Swaps are special whatchamacallits affectionately pinned somewhere, and swapping is the tradition of Girl Scouts exchanging keepsakes. Swaps are generally small in size, and they can be put on a hat or a jacket or in a scrapbook. Girl Scouts tend to not put swaps on the back of their vest or sash only because they tend to be uncomfortable to sit with. Girl Scouts can swap at any time, but typically girls will swap with each other at a large event where there will be a lot of other troops to swap with. We recommend girls should make an extra swap to keep for themselves as a keepsake, in addition to the others that they're going to make for other Girl Scouts. It's important to know swap safety and etiquette. You never want to refuse to swap with another Girl Scout. You want to always swap face to face, especially if you're exchanging information with the other person. You want to avoid using glass or sharp objects in swaps, and you want to avoid using food products unless they're individually wrapped. Singing songs in Girl Scouts is a wonderful way for girls to express themselves. Girls can sing songs to reminisce about great times in Girl Scouts that they've had, like when they've accomplished a new achievement, like bridging up to the next level, or earning one of the highest awards in Girl Scouts. There are many great Girl Scout songs that you can teach your troop and incorporate into a meeting. Some are already preloaded online on the Volunteer Toolkit, which we're going to talk about shortly, and you can also find many on YouTube. Ultimately, songs help girls form a bond and unite so many in the Girl Scout movement. As new troop leaders, we want to remind you that doing your best is good enough. There is a lot to learn in Girl Scouts, and we don't expect you to know everything from the start. We want to remind you that it's important from the beginning of your time in Girl Scouts to be a good communicator with the parents in your troop. Always remember to have fun with your troop. Don't be hard on yourself if you make a mistake. And if you're not sure about something, please always ask someone. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You can call on your service team, or you can call us at Girl Scouts of Nassau County for help. So these are some important reminders. We want to remind you to not scold or yell at the girls. Arguing or yelling in front of them isn't appropriate. Be sure not to put your hands on the girls forcefully, meaning grabbing or shaking them in any way. You don't want to be alone with one girl. You want to always follow the rule of 3. So a common example of this is if a girl needs to use the restroom, 2 adults should accompany her. The easiest way in this case to avoid stopping often for bathroom breaks is to try to ask if multiple girls need to use the restroom at once so bigger groups can go at the same time. And lastly, don't play favorites. It's not acceptable to give a girl special treatment. Girl-led for younger troops. So what is girl-led? Girl-led is when you, as the leaders, involve the girls in the decision-making process as early as possible to the extent of their abilities. So no matter what level of Girl Scouts your troop is in, there are always ways to keep things girl-led. So what can you do as a leader to make this happen? You can introduce them to new things, but be sure to always have the girls share what they want to do. Have them vote. This lets them know that they are deciding how their Girl Scout experience will be. You want to encourage them. Girls need to know that they are capable of not only planning something, but seeing it through to execution. Public speaking. So having the girls stand up in front of others and getting practice confidently speaking in front of other people will benefit them in many life situations. And then most importantly, be patient. Overall, what matters the most is that you're empowering them to make informed decisions that will help them grow into confident leaders. So often girls are involved in many things besides Girl Scouts, and we know it's important to know how to keep them interested. And giving them ownership of something can help them feel special and in charge. And creating a caper chart can help them do this. So a caper chart is a chart that you can create that displays jobs for them to do throughout the meeting. So some jobs could be that they're a snack helper, they are the promise leader, they're an attendance helper, or maybe they're the friendship circle leader. And you're seeing in this slide there's just 2 different examples of 2 different ways that caper charts can look. It doesn't really matter how it looks as long as it's clear which jobs the girls have. And each meeting you can rotate the capers so each girl gets a chance to do something. And then after a while, after the girls have done the first set of capers, you can switch it up and create different jobs for them. There are many resources available to you as leaders on the go to help make things easier for you. And we want to start by talking about our online resources. The Volunteer Toolkit is an online resource that you can use with your co-leader, and it will help you plan your meetings. So the first step to get on the Volunteer Toolkit, also known as the VTK, is you go to gsnc.org, then you click My GS, and then Volunteer Toolkit. Then it's going to ask you to put in your username, which is the email address you use with Girl Scouts of Nassau County. And then your password is going to be the same password that you created when you registered. Then you click Volunteer Toolkit on the left side in green. You'll notice your troop number on the right side here with the level that your troop is in. You want to start at the Explore tab, and you're given 2 options to start selecting things like badges and journeys and awards that the girls can earn. One is Build Your Own. When we start with that way, you're given the option to use this filter selection, which is where you can first select your level, select the type of meeting you want, so you can select if you want to see badges or pedals, journeys, and so on and so forth. Then you can further filter your selection by selecting the category that you want. So if you want to see things just under healthy living or STEM or cookie business, whatever it may be, you check it off and then you click View List, and everything under the selections that you made will pop up. And here you can see the name of the badge or the leaf or the journey, whatever you selected. You can click on the image to see a brief summary. And then to fully select it, you check it off and then add it to your year plan. Then you'll be able to click in the meeting to see the full lesson plan. So on the bottom is your agenda, and this is where it's showing you the different activities that the girls will do to earn whatever it is that you selected, so the badge or the journey or the award. And you can click in each activity to see the time frame, the materials that you would need for that activity, and then it'll give you steps and talking points that you need. And you can further look at each activity to see what the full meeting is going to be like. You can change the order of certain activities if you want to customize things. You can change the time frame here. You can even add your own activity if you want. And you'll also see that you're going to be given different worksheets, coloring sheets, possibly even videos, and that will all be attached here under meeting aids. And it's available for you to click any of those documents and it'll pop up and be ready for you to print. On the top here you can click Activity Plan, which is where you can print the whole entire meeting at once. And then you can also save it as a PDF and send it to anyone. Then if we go back to the other option that you can start with, that's going to be pre-selected tracks. Pre-selected tracks is where different meetings have already been selected for you. So for example, this one is showing petals, an intro meeting, and leaves and other projects. So this is just to save you a little bit of time to start off with, and then you can fully customize from there. So once I click select, it'll again show me all the meetings, and I can click in it and again see my full lesson plan. So the Volunteer Toolkit is a great resource that you can use with your co-leader. If you're at your home and they're at their home, you can both log in at the same time. You will both be connected to the same troop, of course, on here, so you'll have the same account. So anything that you select or they select, you'll both see at the same time, so you can plan together. You can also add in any other activities like trips that you want to take the girls on. If it's a custom activity, you can put that in here. If it's a activity or trip that GSNC ran, then you can look that up here and add that in as well. If you have any further questions about the Volunteer Toolkit, please let us know. We'd be happy to help you with anything that you need. The online community, also known as the OLC, is another great resource available. The OLC is a communication platform just for Girl Scouts of Nassau County leaders and parents. To get to the OLC, you go to our website, gsnc.org. Then you click OLC on the top right-hand side. Then you're going to be asked to put your email address in and also a password. And this password is going to be different from the one that you created when you registered and from the one that you use for the Volunteer Toolkit. So on the OLC, you can communicate with other leaders and exchange ideas. You can access special program opportunities and always be in the know of events and news that's happening. So you'll see multiple groups that you'll be able to be a part of. One is the parents group, and in there you're going to be able to see program opportunities and discounts that didn't make it into our program guide possibilities. So once you go in there, you'll see a listing of all the different things that you can choose from. You'll be able to click in each posting or event and see all the details. And if you have a question, you can comment, and a staff member or another volunteer that may see it and know the answer will answer you there. You can also be a part of the level groups. So if your troop is in the Daisy level, Brownie level, whatever level, you can click in that group and you can see any information that was posted in there. And again, click in each separate posting and access that information and ask any questions that you may have. Another group that you can be a part of is your service unit group here on the OLC, and you'll be able to see different things that were posted, like event listings, possibly your calendar, meeting agendas, different things that you need to know pertaining to your service unit. If you have any questions about the online community, please let us know. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Now let's talk about how to keep volunteers and girls safe in Girl Scouts. The emotional and physical safety and well-being of girls is our top priority at Girl Scouts of Nassau County. It's vital for you as a leader to follow our safety guidelines to ensure that you and the girls in your troop are always safe. We do have a safety guide called Safety Activity Checkpoints, which details all of our safety guidelines that you can use as an ongoing resource throughout your time as a leader. And right now we just wanted to briefly overview our required adult to girl ratio during troop meetings and outings. So for troop meetings, if you have up to 12 daisies, you must have 2 unrelated approved adult volunteers. And for every additional 1 to 6 daisies, there needs to be an additional adult. And then for events, travel, and camping, if you have up to 6 daisies, you must have 2 unrelated approved adult volunteers. And for every additional 1 to 4 daisies, there needs to be an additional adult. And it's important for us to mention that when we say approved volunteers, we mean those volunteers have to be registered, background checked, and have completed training specific to their role. So program opportunities are ongoing and available to Girl Scouts throughout the year. We at Girl Scouts of Nassau County mail out a booklet called Possibilities to all of you leaders twice a year. Once it's going to be sent to you in August, and that's going to show you all of the winter and fall programs. And then you're going to get another edition around January, and that's going to show you all the spring and summer programs. And we know that all girls have many different interests, which is why you're going to see programs that we offer under many themes. And those themes will include auto mechanics, science, fitness, health, business, art, and many more. And we suggest bringing the Possibilities booklet to one of your troop meetings so you can include the girls in the planning process and they can choose what they want to participate in. And just as a reminder, any trips that you take the girls on can be saved in the volunteer toolkit that we talked about earlier. So it'll be great for you to have a record of all the trips and outings that they went on in addition to the meetings that you do in-house in your regular meeting location. And there may be programs that the girls want to do that may not fit into your year plan. So in those cases, you can encourage parents to view Possibilities on our website, and they can register their daughter to programs that they want to go to. Anytime you take your troop outside of your troop meeting place, that is considered a trip. So it's important to know that you need to submit an online trip application before you go on each trip with your troop. And it's necessary to ensure that the activity is consistent with our safety guidelines. The trip application can be found on our website at gsnc.org under the forms link. And it's important to know that this trip application needs to be submitted at least 2 weeks prior to a day trip or event. In addition to the trip application, you want to make sure you also collect permission forms from each parent for each trip that you take. And this ensures that you have any emergency contact information you need. And you can also find the permission forms on our website, gsnc.org, under the forms link as well. In Girl Scouts, girls can do community service projects and take action projects, and it's very important to know the difference between the two. A take action project addresses the root of an issue and creates a lasting effect, and a community service project is a one-time fix of an issue and doesn't create a lasting effect. So an example of a community service project could be asking for donations for a food bank, versus a take action project, which would be setting up a program where you can get schools, people, or companies to regularly donate to the food bank and perhaps teach others about hunger. And these are things that girls don't have to do right away, but it is definitely attainable as early as the DAISY level. If the girls want to earn a journey, a take action project will be part of the journey. But remember, it's not something that they have to do. If they're interested in doing it, then that's great. If Girl Scouts have participated in our product sales programs, which is Megs and Munchies and the Cookie program, they can apply to do other money earning activities. So in order to do this, a Troop Money Earning application must be submitted to Girl Scouts of Nassau County for approval of the activities, and that application can be found on our website, gsnc.org. And we want to just give you some examples of appropriate money earning activities versus inappropriate ones. So some examples of appropriate money earning activities would be garage sales that the girls can do. They can help with yard work. They can collect and redeem recyclable materials. They can participate in babysitting, and they can run a craft or a bake sale. Some examples of inappropriate money earning activities would be running fundraisers for other organizations, raffles, home demonstration parties, like for Avon or Pampered Chef, or receiving a percentage of sales from a business like say Applebee's or Macy's during a specific time frame where the sales are going to generate a profit for that specific company. Now we want to talk about parents in your troop and how to keep them involved. Keeping parents involved with what your troop is doing is very important. Maintaining open communication with them is highly encouraged, and it will ensure everyone is on the same page. Making sure that parents understand what activities the girls in your troop are doing and why will make them feel knowledgeable and informed. We definitely suggest to provide parents with updates as to what your troop is doing as much as you can. And you've most likely learned that some troop parents can give more time than others, so offering a range of ways that they can volunteer with your troop is helpful. So for example, you could offer different things for them to do, like providing snack, maybe being a troop trip chaperone, or even running a meeting. And parents may have a skill or be in a profession that will allow them to teach your troop about something and in turn help them earn a badge or an award, and it'll free you of running the meeting. You want to just overall make sure that you welcome help from the parents and always keep an open mind. Establishing teamwork with them will ultimately give girls the best experience possible. Another resource available to you at Girl Scouts of Nassau County is the Volunteer Resource Center, also known as the VRC. Girl Scouts of Nassau County is one of the few councils in the country to have a resource center, and it's a place where you can go to get help with planning your meetings. There's also a VRC manager, which is a staff person that's available to help answer any of your questions, and you're welcome to walk in during business hours, or you can book an appointment for in-depth help. The VRC also has a great library of resources that you can borrow for free, and those resources include badge and journeys in a box, ideas for ceremonies, flags, tablecloths, and much more. And if you need access to online materials, the VRC also has laptops where you can go online and use that as well. And of course, if you can't make it in person, you can also call Girl Scouts of Nassau County, and the VRC manager can do a phone conference with you to answer any questions that you may have about the Girl Scout program or anything that you need help with concerning your meetings. We would love to know what we can do to help improve your experience as a Girl Scouts of Nassau County volunteer. So what trainings do you want to see next? Any improvements that you can suggest for us to make? We would love to know. Please email us at training@gsnc.org for all suggestions. We have now come to the end of this training. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and to increase your knowledge as a Girl Scout troop leader.